wabarakatuh. We are back once again to continue and also finish this subtopic which talks about the political system in the Islamic State. So you are seeing the responsibilities of the Islamic government. That how much you have appointed it, but you should also have responsibilities and its duties to its citizens and its governments. Let us continue. Just proceed from here. The protection of life is another duty of the Islamic State. Rulers are directly responsible for protecting human life, and capital punishments must be safeguarded safely and with implicated reviews. We shall see that under this, the Islamic State should try as much as possible to protect the life of people in the Islamic State. So rulers are directly responsible for protecting human life, and capital punishments must be safeguarded severely within the complicated reviews. So for those who fail to abide by the rule of law, they must be subjected to punishments, and the Islamic government is the one which is responsible for conducting them. Another one, the state must take full responsibility for providing health and education to its citizens, which must be done under socially accepted standards approved by society. Under this, we shall see that the state should take full responsibility for providing health and education to its citizens. In developed countries, actually, people really pay for medical bills, even education bills. It is the government that caters for them. Maybe when it comes to higher institutions, but when it comes to lower institutions, it is the government that caters for them. Even the Ghana government has tried, because you shall see that we are having public hospitals. We also have public schools where people go and attain education. But at times there is some simple fee attached. But in the real fact, that in the real setting, you should not pay for education and health. But unfortunately, because we are living in a deficit budget, that's why at times we happen to pay for these bills. So another one, it should honor treaties with other states and with non-Muslims and fight those who break agreements. So under this, the Islamic State government should make sure that they honor treaties, that they sign treaties with other states, even with the non-Muslims, and also to fight those who break the agreements with it. So, for instance, you have signed an agreement with a certain state, it breaks it, you have to fight it or attack it, because it's trying to cause commotion and instability. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran chapter 9 verse 4, proclaim a woeful punishment to the unbelievers except those idolaters who have fully honored their treaties with you and aided none against you. So under this we shall see that that punishment should be given. Punishment should be given for those who are non-believers and those who break treaties. The government is responsible for developing and exploiting natural resources of the state, both in the interests of the present and future generations. So it is a responsibility of the government to exploit resources, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us resources. They are very many, and they are found underneath earth. For instance, there is oil, there is gold, there is silver, there is copper. So it is the responsibility of the government to exploit these resources, both for the interests of those who are present, even for the interests of for those who come in future, because you might exploit them. Then you start up investments whereby people in the future generation will benefit. You might also exploit them and sell. Then the funds you get, you use them in maintaining and fulfilling the basic needs of people in the state. So it is a responsibility of the government to exploit these resources. That's why if you happen to find any mineral in your land, you have to first inform the government, or you have to first seek permission from the government before you exploiting it. It is under here in Uganda, you have the Ministry of Minerals, the Ministry of Energy and Minerals, which is responsible for all treasures which are underground here in Uganda. So before you exploit oil, before you exploit copper or gold, you have to first seek permission from the government. Because even in Islam has permitted the governments to do so. Another one, it is obligation. It has obligation to develop the country's economy, organizing competitive markets and production centers. So it is a responsibility of the government, of the Islamic government, to develop the country's economy, to see that the economy of the country is growing, that the economy of the country gets some good money, that the economy of the country at least it booms. So it's up to them to organize competitive markets and production centers. It must also ensure production of lawful commodities and establishment of infrastructures like roads. So the Islamic government should make sure that fine factories are being set up in our country. But are these factories manufacturing lawful commodities? We saw earlier on in this course in it we have to show the halal. What they're manufacturing, is it halal or is it haram? If it is haram, it should not be permitted in the Islamic state. But if it is halal, allow them. Even the government should go furthermore to see that it also establishes infrastructures like roads. So roads should be established, and it's the role of the government to maintain them and also construct them. The government is responsible for protecting the property of its citizens and guarantee them rights to own homes, productive assets, and develop their human capital. So it's a responsibility of the government for protecting the property of the citizens. So because citizens have properties, apartments, businesses, so it's the responsibility of the government to protect. How can they do this? By using the police, by using various security agencies to see that people, they have their property. How? Though if you are caught stealing property is not yours, if you are taken to court of law, then you are taken to prison or you are being punished. It depends on the form of case you have committed. The government's responsibility furthermore, the government must ensure that riba that does not exist. Furthermore, the government must ensure that riba does not exist in the land because it is a form of exploiting the poor. Therefore, zakat collection must be among the cardinal duties. So what is riba? Riba is interest. So the Islamic government should fight as much as possible to say that riba is not there. In Islamic State, we don't believe in riba, that is interest. For instance, I've borrowed money like 5 m, then at the end of the day, the bank tells me you have to be on bringing back that money, you should bring back 8 million, right? This 4 million, this is interest. Islam doesn't believe in interest. Islam is against riba. Why? If you are going to do riba, you are exploiting those who are poor. Yet in Islam, when it comes, for instance, lending money or borrowing money, it's all about trying to make life soft for these people, for this person who is in need. For instance, in the Islamic system, when it comes to that point of riba, if you have borrowed money, you have borrowed 20 m, then you give in a vehicle of 30 m, which you give it in as security. If you fail to pay the money in time, what we shall do, it is simple. The bank or that person will confiscate that vehicle. In Islamic system, they sell the vehicle which is worth 30 million. It takes away that 20 million which you borrowed, only 20 because you were given 20. Then that 10 million brings back to you. Then there is no exploiting. But the banking system that we use currently, here we shall see that people will borrow money, that when you're giving a security, when the bank sells it, for instance, the house has been about 200 million, they borrowed you 100, the other 100 won't come back to you, they take it as profit. So that is not right. Islam says their riba should not be there. So it happens that when it comes to the economic system of the Islamic empire. Furthermore, so there should not be riba. Even zakat collection should be very crucial, and the government should put much emphasis on it. Furthermore, it is further supposed to keep the territorial integrity of the nation. So it's the responsibility of the Islamic government to keep territorial integrity, that its territories there is integrity on borders even within the state. Another, it is charged with the wording of external aggression. So it is the responsibility of the Islamic government. For instance, external aggression, you have to attack a state. Why? Because there might be various reasons that these people are not safe when they're near us. We should attack them because anytime the ones who are, or anytime they might attack us and disrupt our peace. So various reasons are looked at before making an attack, before making an aggression. So it is the responsibility of the government to give a red light, to give a blue light, to see that external aggression takes place. So we have happened to see the responsibilities of the Islamic government. وهذا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.